Okay, good evening everyone. We are starting the Shiur. Today we're going to cover some more of the mitzvot of the day, like we said. We'll talk a bit about Hanukkah, that's coming up, and what to do in Hanukkah, how to do Hanukkah right. And we also are going to focus on a couple parts of the davening as well, and expand on those. The shiur will be God willing for the in merit of the returning of all the people in captive, Hashem, all the hostages. Thank you, I was looking for the word. And Hashem, for the healing of all the wounded people and civilians and soldiers, and for the complete victory of our army, Hashem, and the army of Hashem, to have an ultimate redemption. Amen. Amen. Okay, so let's start actually with Hanukkah, because Hanukkah is coming up. Let's start with Hanukkah. Oh, hi. Hello. Come right on time. We're just starting. So we're going to start talking about Hanukkah. And Hanukkah is probably one of the, it's my favorite holiday. I think all of other people, because it's all about happiness and light and how you can actually elevate yourself and everybody around you. Not you don't have to do it during the regular day, but it's actually extra emphasis. But it's really, it's a holiday of miracles, a whole month of miracles, month of redemption. We're talking about the month of Kislev as a month of redemption. We talked about it a little bit in the for bringing we did for Yutet Kislev, for the 10th of Kislev, and then afterwards, 10th of Kislev, in the 10th of Kislev, and a lot of things happen in this particular month. And interesting is that Hanukkah is the name Hanukkah. You know what it means? Any idea? No. So Hanukkah comes from the word of inauguration. Lachnoch is to inaugurate something. As Hanukkah, right, is to inaugurate, like we say Chanukhat Bait. What's Chanukhat Bait? When you move into a new house, you do a housewarming, right? According to housewarming. So, but in Hebrew, it's like Hanukkah is to inaugurate the house, to start the house. We start the house with words of Torah and bring and do something good, and bring some people and hopefully be happy. And make other people happy. So the thing is that the Chanukhat Bait is like Chanukhat HaMizbeach. Okay, Chanukhat HaMizbeach, the inauguration of the altar. Because what happened? Up until that moment that the Greeks beat the Hashmonaim beat the Greeks were the one that actually contaminated the entire Bet HaMikdash. They were sacrificing animals that are not kosher animals on the altar. They were completely desecrating the whole services of Bet HaMikdash, so the temple. So therefore, the Chanukhat HaMizbeach, the inauguration or reintroducing or reinaugurating the Mizbeach, the altar, after it was desecrated for so many years. Okay, so there's other meaning for that. For them it says also Chanukah has two words. Right, Chanu and Cafe, which is Chanu is to park, and a cafe in numerical value is 25. So they parked at 25, meaning they arrived at Bet HaMikdash after they beat the Greeks on the 25th of Kislev. Okay? It's Hanukkah, 25th of Kislev, yeah? So Chanukah, parked, and 25th. Okay? So also, it's interesting play of words, but also, yeah? And really what happened, there's just like a brief history lesson about this time. So we're talking about the time where the Greeks were controlling the world pretty much. After Alexander the Great went on his great journey, conquering everywhere. And they were very different than the Romans. Romans were all about forcing you, right, to be like them. They want to control you. They want to completely take out the Jewish, the Yiddishkeit, the Jewishness out of you. Okay, they kill you if you study Torah. They did a lot of very, very aggressive, gruesome action to try to get the Jewish people to stop being Jewish. Okay? The Greeks, on the other hand, they were different. They said, look, you can study Torah, but study Torah because it's a nice wisdom. And don't do the mitzvot. You can study, no problem. The Romans don't even study Torah. They say you can study the Torah, but just because it's a beautiful wisdom, not because God said so. Okay, change the name of the kids, give them different names. Do assimilate. They want you to assimilate. So their idea was not to take you out of Judaism completely, but it's called Ashkech Toratecha. They want you to forget your Torah. How do you forget your Torah? It's very connected to our lesson that we do every week. What do we learn how to do? How to be a Jew, right? And Jew is all about a lifestyle. It's about the actions. They want you to stop the actions. Don't do circumcision. You know why? Because it doesn't make any sense. What's the point? It was an anxious thing. Don't need to do it anymore. It's not relevant. Okay? It's like something more like the you see a lot of the reform movement that started a while back, started doing this thing not intentionally, but that's what they did. They try to tell you things are not relevant. You don't have to keep kosher style. It's okay. You don't have to be completely so fanatic that you have to separate with men and women. No, let's sit together. And then what difference does it make if the woman put tefillin or not, or she's a rabbi or not? It doesn't make a difference. There is this, there's that. And try to take all the lines and blur them. Okay? Now, if the Torah did not say that, okay, so it's a different story. But because it's the wisdom of Hashem, and Hashem says that, right? Then you cannot take it away. If you take it away, what do? Take it away, you completely negate the Torah, because the Torah, we said, is from the word of instruction, right? The Torah, just to learn the Torah, to know the Torah, it's nice, but it's not the only commandment we have. You commanded to learn the Torah, but you need to learn in order to do. You're learning first and foremost in order to know what to do. So when the Greeks came and say, okay, so you can learn but you cannot do, okay, then it was a whole new ball game. They came to them and said, take a knife and inscribe on the horn of the ox that I have no part in the God of Israel. So I have to say, do whatever you want. Just write, I don't have part in the God of Israel. Right? So they were very sophisticated. And they gave Jewish people, they gave them basically in the beginning, right? They give them dignity and let them do what they want. But slowly, they start cranking on it more and more and more. And they had very horrible customs. It's all about admiring the beauty and admiring the materiality. It's all about the materiality. It was not about anything else but the materiality. And anything spiritual was abomination. It's not about spirituality, it's about materiality. And even the cue for the okay, we'll talk about it in a second. So then what happened is that for years they controlled Eretz Israel as well. They told the Jews what to do, what not to do. And they completely, like we said, desecrated the temple. Why? Because they said, look, we don't care if you have oil. What were they about the oil? They contaminated all. They didn't spill the oil. Notice what the story says. The Kohen Gadol came, he was looking for oil. What did he find? He found only one canister that wasn't open. So they didn't come and say, hey, let's break all the canisters of all the oil so they won't have any oil to light. No. You can have oil. It's not going to be a kosher oil. We're going to temper with the seal of the Kohen, of the priest, and now it's contaminated, and you have to light this oil. Why? Because nothing that was above common sense was allowed. Okay? Who said it's contaminated? Why? Because I touched it? What do you mean? I touched it. You touched it. What if it doesn't make any difference? Those are all decrees, according to them, are all decrees that are irrelevant. That doesn't make any sense. And you have to be smart. You have to use your brain. You have to do things that are making sense. Like we said, circumcision doesn't make any sense. Shabbos doesn't make any sense. Why shouldn't you work on Shabbos? Why not? I want to work. I feel like working. I cannot work. What's the problem with that? Okay, what's the problem with not eating pork or not eating seafood or whatever it is. Why can't I eat it? What difference does it make? What difference does it make if I put the cow on the altar or I put the pork on the altar? Who says it's not kosher? That was the whole idea. So every law that was in Judaism, according to them, that did not meet their logical explanation, we don't do. Okay, that's why they contaminated the canisters. They didn't break them. Okay, so what they're doing is they're slowly, and the Kohanim, Matityahu, who was him and his family, were the one that leading at the time the Yerushalayim and Yehuda and all this area, and they realized that if they're not going to stand up, it's not going to be pretty. So the miracle is that they fought, some saying with only 12 people that started the war, and then more joined, some people a bit more joined, but nonetheless it was very, very few against very, very many. I mean, it was by no stretch of the imagination a fair fight. There was no fight over there. Like they could get rid of him in 5 minutes. Okay, and somehow miraculously Hashem helped them and fought for them and were able to completely abolish the Greeks from Israel, at least for a long period of time, until they came back and fight again. There was more war, but it didn't finish in one war. But the big war of the miracle of Hanukkah was actually one more that they break through, and they got rid of the Greeks of controlling Israel, and they took back the independence of running the temple and everything else. So
hiding in the trees.
They
were hiding in the trees.
Trees and caves, and they were doing guerrilla war. And it was a tough one. But actually, the trigger, according to the story, the trigger for the war was actually a woman. The woman named Yehudit, that she was about to get married, and there was a custom, the disgusting one, that the head of this area, of the region, would take the woman on her night of wedding and sleep with her first before her husband. Yeah, disgusting. Yeah. And Yehudit came, and she did two things. She came to the in the wedding. They were all celebrating, so it was just nothing they could do about it, right? You were under their command, so what can you do? So she came to the wedding, and the wedding, there was like the people were partying for the wedding, right? And she came and she said, "How can you be here celebrating and pretending like everything's okay when I'm about to be raped in 5 minutes from now? How can you live like this? Argue with yourself." Okay, and she triggered something in them, and then when she went over there, she got him drunk, and then she took a knife she had hid and she cut his head off, and she brought the head to the leaders, the Chashmonaim, and said, "Now you can go and fight them and kill them all, and now you can win the war." So, because she gave him milk to drink, also there's a custom to also drink to eat some dairy product in Hanukkah, because she fed them with dairy product, milk and cheese, and which makes you sleepy. Hence why it's not good for you. And then she was able to do that. So obviously the rest of the stories, after they fought the war, they won the war, and they arrived at the Mikdash. They wanted to start the service, and then when we start the service, you need to start by lighting the menorah. There was only one canister of oil, which will last for only 1 day, and then the miracle was that it lasted 8 days, and therefore we are lighting the menorah every year for 8 days, which interestingly enough, the menorah in Bet HaMikdash is not 8 candles. It's only 7 candles, yes. And the reason we're lighting 8 is because the miracle was for 8 days. Right? The shamash doesn't count. Shamash is just there to serve the...
menorah in the temple has 7 because one is the shamash.
No, the shamash, there's no shamash in the... Yeah, it's the center, but they're all the same height in the menorah in the Mishkan. Here it's not the same height. You see the shamash is different?
Yeah.
You see over there? It's higher. Why is higher? It's higher because it's not in the same, it's not part of the, it doesn't represent a day in the celebration. Okay? It's only there to be, and why does it celebrate? So why do we need it? Right? Because there's a halacha is that you cannot use the candles for anything else other than lighting them. So if I lit the first candle, I cannot take the fire from the first candle and put the next second candle to the third candle. So I have to have a shamash, a servant actually going with that. I'm going and lighting everything, every other candle.
Is it interesting that the servant is higher, not lower?
It can be lower.
But it's never lower.
It's not the same height. It's only the same height. It can be higher or low. Doesn't matter.
Why did they light it if they knew they only had not enough oil? It's
Oh,
not
that's
real
a very good
miracle,
question.
The fact that they had hope.
That's a good question. So why would you start? Perfect logic would be, okay, look, you don't have enough. It takes 8 days to make new oil. No problem. Let's start lighting when? On the 7th day. By the time they come 8th day, we're going to light the new batch. No problem. Why they do that? Because the Kohen Gadol, first of all, had trust in Hashem. And he knew that there is a rule in Judaism. Okay? The rule is that you, first of all, do what you can do. Whatever you can do, it's not up to you. Right now you have oil. Right now you have everything you need to start. Start doing the service. Don't delay. It's a rule for our life. You can do something right now. Don't think what's going to happen tomorrow. If you have a mitzvah right now you can do the mitzvah. It's a mitzvah that comes to you in front of you, don't miss it. Don't miss it. Do the mitzvah. Okay? You do the mitzvah. All right? What's going to happen tomorrow? It's not my problem. Tomorrow is a new day. We're learning in the Tanya that Hashem recreates the world every second over and over again. Right? It's not no need to wait for tomorrow. In 5 minutes I can have another miracle. Right? So that's why they did not wait. It's a principle in Judaism. When you have a mitzvah, you have to do the mitzvah, and you have to trust in Hashem that everything going to fall into place somehow. I don't know how. It's not my job to know. My job is to do what is required of me. Okay? That's why when you try to say that, in parentheses, when the other side wants to get you to come to inaction, they start worrying you. Oh, what's going to happen if you're going to do that? If you're going to waste all the oil right now, what's going to happen tomorrow? Let's not do that. Let's wait. Let's this. Let's that. So all those calculations coming into your mind, coming from where? From the other side. If it prevents you from doing a mitzvah, they come from the other side. So you have to ask yourself sometime, what is the right answer? Are you coming to an action or inaction? If it's inaction, not good. If it's an action, that's good. Assuming the action is a good action, not required by Hashem, obviously. Right? So
it wouldn't have been a miracle if they didn't light it.
Exactly. If it didn't go by this principle, they wouldn't light it, there would be no miracle. But the miracle has to work through nature. Okay? So you have to step towards action in order for the miracle to happen. Because if you're not there and you're not doing anything, what's going to be the vessel for the miracle? Nothing. Right? You didn't light the menorah. How can I make you a miracle? You should light it. You should try. You should want to. You know, a person says, oh, I cannot do these things. So you're right, you cannot do it. We talked about it a little bit on Shabbat, right? And you were here also. I cannot do something. Okay, if you say you cannot do something, you cannot do it. If you're not giving a chance for your potential to shine through, you don't, because you disqualified in advance. The number one thing in Judaism is you can't decipher in your mind what to do and what not to do based on your fears of the future outcome. There is a mitzvah to do something, do the mitzvah. What's going to happen tomorrow? Hashem Gadol, Hashem is great. It's his world to run, not mine. Right? So that's why there was a miracle. That's why we should be celebrating this holiday. That's why everything happened, because of that. If he would not act like this, the Kohen Gadol, right, it wouldn't happen.
Is there any commentary on how the miracle happened? For example, the splitting of the Red Sea. They said a wind blew all night.
No, there is no. There's several opinions. There's several opinions of how it happened. Whether the canister was full again for the next day, and they were able to use it, or the oil were never burnt. It stayed lit the whole time, so it kept staying on. Or if it was empty, but every time it came to pour, more oil came out. So there's several opinions. one way or another, it doesn't matter. He had to have an immense bitachon, an immense sense of certainty in Hashem that he's going to have a miracle. And not only that, every day you have a miracle that goes by, and now you wake up in the morning, am I worthy of another miracle? Is it going to happen again? Maybe I did something bad yesterday. Maybe. So he was in complete certainty that everything going to work well because it's nothing to do with him. And when you're in a complete certainty and you let Hashem work through you, then the miracles happen. When the miracles don't happen, when you start putting yourself in the middle. You put yourself in the middle, then you push away God. It says me and him cannot reside in the same place. Where there is me, there is no Hashem. Where there is Hashem, when my ego is there to serve Hashem and not there to decide what's going to happen or even to say it loves Hashem. That's also ego. You better say, I love Hashem. There's somebody who loves Hashem, and that's me.
Well, why are you saying it like that?
Yeah, right? So that the level of nullification in doing what we're doing is really to start to train our mind to take away our sense of self in the things that we're doing. Because when we're doing that, we're actually allowing the godly energy to go through us. Otherwise, we're blocking it. Because it's me and my opinion and my knowledge and me. There's nothing happening. Even if it's positive, it doesn't have to be me negative. It can be me positive. It can be me saying, you know what, I'll decide how to celebrate Hanukkah. Why I will decide how to celebrate Hanukkah? Because in my opinion, it needs to be to celebrate like this. Well, it's me in the middle. It's me in the middle. If it's me in the middle, right, I'm bothering the true godliness to go through me. So that's the key, right? That's the key in Judaism, to be able to even allow yourself to be able to do mitzvot. Because otherwise, you won't be able to do mitzvot. Even if you do it for a certain amount of time, you're going to start changing them. Because it's in your mind, you decide how it's going to be, how it's not going to be. Okay? Yeah, but you ask you how it's going to be, how it's not going to be. You need to be, first of all, in Judaism, rule number 1 is Kabbalat Ol. Kabbalat Ol is to accept the yoke of heaven. You're accepting it. That's it. First you accept. Then you do. Then you learn, and maybe you understand, maybe you don't understand, but you still do. First you accept, because you can't understand everything in the beginning. I mean, I'm still learning every day. Huh? Lekabel. Kabbalat Ol. Accept the yoke of heaven. I'm accepting first of all, I'm a Jew and I have to do things. Why do I have to do whatever Hashem says? Now I don't understand. Okay, great. Now learn, because there's a commitment to learn. You have to learn also, and you have to know. If you don't learn, don't know, then it's not going to hold water. You're going to give up after a while, because how long are you going to be able to be a robot? And there's no connection also. Remember, we talked about also, you have to have a mitzvah without intention. It's like a body without a soul. Right? So we have to do the mitzvah, we have to do it in a way that we are actually connecting with it and at least understanding some of it, or the idea behind it, or at least have the right intention while doing it. Okay, but again, we can't do everything at once, so we're slowly getting there, right? Okay. Alright, so then, Hanukkah. So because of that, we said we're lighting the menorah, and the menorah lighting is we light every day. We start with the first candle, second candle, third candle, right? According to the Shita, the method of Bet Hillel, the house of Hillel, that they decided that it's going to be an increasing light, as opposed to Bet Shammai, the house of Shammai, that says we're starting with 8 and then decreasing every day. Okay? Bet Shammai starts with 8 and goes 7, 6, all the way to 1. Nobody doing it today. Okay? But back in the days, there was a machloket, there was a disagreement of how to do that. Right? Yeah. So, but we posek halacha, we poskin that it's going to be just like Bet Hillel, like the house of Hillel, is going to be increasing the light. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is a story about it, by the way, that when after the when Nixon became a president, after the crisis they had with Fidel Castro and all the issues over there with Cuba, and there were warheads of nuclear warheads that were pointed towards the U.S. from the Russian and Cuba, and they were communist, right? So there was a big deal, Anyway, they were there for many days. I think it was like 100 days or something. I forgot how many days. That Nixon didn't even leave the White House. They were stuck over there, right? It was an emergency. And he came out, and the day he came out, actually it was Hanukkah. And it used to be that every Hanukkah, the president would come to light the menorah. So, but it was never in front of the White House and the whole thing. It was the first time ever. It was like the big thing. So, the Shaliach of Chabad that organized the whole thing, he was there, and he organized the menorah, and it was the fourth candle. And the president came and says, why are we lighting the entire menorah? It's prettier. So I told me, no, because today is the fourth day. We're lighting the fourth candle. He said, no, I want you to light the whole menorah. So he really struggled with himself, He's like, do I do it? Do I not? He put pressure on him. At the end, he caved and lit the whole menorah. When he wrote to the Rebbe, or when the Rebbe heard about it, the Rebbe wrote to him a letter and told him, from you, I expected more. Okay? I expect more from you. This is not, you don't give up. You don't cave, you don't change anything. It doesn't matter. You follow the rules. Why? Like we said, you do the mitzvah, then the rest is Hashem's problem, not yours. You do what you're required of you. That's why you had the miracle of Hanukkah. And you caving and doing the whole 8 candles is the opposite of the whole idea. Right? Not to mention this shliach of Chabad is a massive rabbi. He did an immense work in Washington D.C. for many years, right? But that was a mistake. We all make mistakes. It was his mistake. But why is it a problem? Because you're negating the whole idea of Hanukkah. The whole idea of Hanukkah is that I have a mitzvah, I do it, I trust in Hashem, Hashem will do his job, I'll do my job. Okay? That's what I'm here for. Okay? Then, where we're putting the menorah, there's a couple of customs. Some people putting it outside the door. Okay, some people putting it inside the door, inside the house. Either or, it's okay. It needs to be from the opposite side of the mezuzah. So if the mezuzah is on the right, the menorah is going to be on the left. Okay, on the other side. So it is when you walk in through the path, you are surrounded by both mitzvah. One mitzvah on the left, one mitzvah on the right. Right? Okay, so not everybody's lighting outside, especially if you have a fear of neighbors being, anti-Semitic or whatever the case is. Then obviously you can be lenient, although you don't need to be afraid of that. But if there is, God forbid, a reason for fear, then of course you're allowed to put it inside the house. Some custom to begin with putting it inside the house, but anyway, if you're putting it inside the house, still put it in front, even if it's a door, a door to a room, right? To your bedroom or to whatever room in the house, still do it and put it on the left side of that doorpost. Okay, so same exact thing, even if it's in the house. Okay? And of course, the idea of lighting the menorah is only after the stars comes out. Obviously, preferably as close as you can to the time the star comes out. And we're always lighting because it's the day starts at night, so we're lighting the next day. So if on Wednesday is the Wednesday is the 25th, Wednesday or Thursday?
Excuse me, we need to accept that the day starts when the night one ends.
The day starts, yeah.
The last one ends. So it's the beginning. We
Yeah.
sleep from the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
Wake up halfway through it.
Yeah.
A third of the way
Yeah,
through it.
yeah, pretty much.
That whole surrender step happens
In the beginning.
first.
Yeah, correct. Good point. I like that. Yeah.
You blow the candles right to left, but light them left to right.
Okay, so when we order them, no, actually we order them the same. Well, let's do customs, depends on you go with. But what we do is this. Let's say there is. We always go from the right to the left. Remember we talked about in I don't know if you were in the shiur. We talked about it always. Why the right? Right is what? Kindness. Kindness. Right. What's left is severity. Right. We're always increasing the kindness over the severity because we want to sweeten the severities. Right. So always from the right to the left. Right. But when we're starting like this. Let's say it's the okay. Let's say we have 4 candles right now, and this is the shamash. So we want to light the first candle. We're lighting this one. The second candle, we're putting this candle first, and then this candle second. And then we light 1, 2. And if it's the fourth candle, we put this candle first, organizing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we light 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That's how we do that. There's a custom of doing it like this. You can go on based on the custom that you want to go with, depends what you decide. Just tell me after what you want to follow, and I'll tell you which way to do it. Okay? Okay. Chanukah. Then we have to have the Chanukah light, according to my opinion, at least 30 minutes. After the star comes out, according to the opinion, at least 50 minutes. Either or, the more, the better, the merrier. The more light you have, the longer it is. That's great. Some opinion says they don't want it lighted too long, but we're holding that lighting it longer is better. Okay. Of course, it's better to do it with olive oil, if you can help it. Okay, because the miracle happened with the olive oil, right? Yeah. So if you can and you have candles, it's still okay. Nothing wrong with it. But it's more mehudar, it's more beautified when you do it with olive oil. So you heard the word mehudar. Mehudar is beautifying the mitzvah. From hadar is beauty, right? So you're beautifying the mitzvah. You're doing it with something. It's the light that comes from the olive oil is very, very clean and very nice. It's very pleasant to the eye, much more than just candle. Okay. Okay. That's pretty much the main thing. Of course, a couple more things. I'm sorry. You can't, like we said, you can't move the candles. You can't use them for something else. They can only be the candles of Hanukkah. You can use the shamash if you want the servant. You can use, but not the other candles. You can't light from them. You cannot do anything from them. Okay, you leave them alone, let them burn, and that's it. Okay, it's customary to sit a little bit by the Chanukiah after you light it, not to run away, to do your things. So we customary to sit for at least 30 minutes next to it.
And the light.
To sit next to it, to sit, to talk about Hanukkah, to tell the stories, do something that actually has to do with the holiday itself, not just to light and go. Okay, that's to be there, to be next to it, and it's good to get family members together. And sit and talk about the story, tell the story, or read something else, or talk about an idea from Hanukkah, whatever it is, right? Or the kid tell the story of what they learned in school, or share ours they did, whatever it is, right? But make it special time, special moment, and also important to give what we call Hanukkah guilt, right? Necessarily is money, by the way. Not in Judaism, is not gifts like they're giving Christianity is a thing that they give gifts. For Jews, it's actually giving money, necessarily money. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a lot of money. But kids, give him, couple bucks. Get him the chocolate gifts. Give him something that they're happy with. You can get them gifts if you want. Also, there's nothing against gifts, but it's not the custom per se. But you can, nonetheless, you can get gifts because now, all of kids, especially if they're going into the interacting in the society. They think, oh, well, I'm getting gifts, so get them gifts. So they won't feel bad. Okay? Okay, Hanukkah. Try not to do any melacha, any work, any hard labor in the first 30 minutes while the candles are burning. You can do some things at home. You can do, if you need to do prepare food or something for the dinner afterwards, that's perfectly fine. But don't start doing laundry and doing stuff. I think it's not supposed to be doing at the time. Okay. This is Hanukkah in a very quick review. There's a lot more details, obviously, like everything. But I think it gives you the gist of it. Try to, the mitzvah, by the way, is obligated for men and women. You have to be together in the lighting of the menorah. So a woman can light for herself also, by the way. It doesn't have to be just the men lighting for. If there's a man, better that he lights, but either or is fine.
We always have the children.
Huh?
We always have the children.
Children, of course, yeah. The children, yes. But if you do that, you do the first one of the day. Let them do the other ones. Okay? So let's say there's a fourth candle. You do the bracha. You do the first one, which is the fourth, and let them do 3, 2, 1. Okay? Because they can't be, you have to be the one doing it for them. And if there's a rule, if you're not obligated in the mitzvah I cannot be doing it for somebody else. Like a kid cannot be saying bracha on a wine on Friday, and then you say amen and you're good. You have to have somebody who is obligated by this bracha, and then he can do it. If he's not obligated, he cannot be doing it for you and get you exempt from the mitzvah.
On Shabbat, do we light the menorah first and then the Shabbat candles?
Very good. Yes. Why?
Because we can't light after Shabbat.
Exactly. Exactly right.
We took it from
The shamash? No. We do the menorah by itself, and then the wife goes and does the Shabbos candle afterwards. And on Shabbat, actually, you have to put, if you put oil, put more oil or whatever it is, so it will last past the 30 minutes, like we said, minimum after the stars comes out. Because remember, when we're lighting Shabbos candle, we're lighting them 18 minutes before sunset. So there's at least an hour. They need to leave for an hour and 15 minutes to be a half hour after the star comes out, right? That's why sometimes those candles that we call them Mitzvah candle, those candles that we give to people all the time that don't usually have menorah. Those are only lasting there's some lasting for 40 minutes, some for less 30 minutes. So we have to make sure that we have the one that are 45 minutes is the best one. 45 minutes will do the trick. Okay? But again, in that case on Shabbat, it's better to do oil, because then you can put a lot of oil and you can. And by the way, it can be, just so you know, in the menorah, even if you don't have menorah, you can put on your table the 8 cups or 2 cups or 3 cups, whatever you're lighting that day. You can put them on one row at the same level, and you can light them.
Would you put empty ones for the other days?
You don't have to. You could, you don't have to. But technically, you can put the cups, and this is but it needs to be designated, so it's not mixed with the other Shabbat candles or whatever it is, right? Or even if the kids want to light the menorah, no problem. Let them light their own menorah, they can. Just don't mix them all together, so they get blurry. You don't know which candle it is and which one is what. And okay. All right. We talked a bit more than I wanted to, but it's okay. Anything about Hanukkah? It's coming up. Good? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about where we at with next episode of the day. So we were talking about, we left with clothing, how we get dressed, how we have to conduct ourselves, and we kind of left it there. Okay? And there is... Did we cover when you said the bracha after the bathroom?
Yeah.
We covered it, right? Okay. I want to make sure. Yes. Washing the hands without blessing on washing the hands, but only say Asher Yatza, the blessing it says that we're reading in the morning also, by the way. And every time we go to the bathroom, we have to say the bracha, right? Okay. All right. So, clothing and how we behaving during the day with tzniut. We said we have to behave with tzniut. Tzniut is actually modesty. Modesty basically is understanding that God is with me everywhere and always. Okay? And I need to try all the time to behave in a way as if God's standing before me. So I don't take my clothes off and run out, half naked in the house. Even if nobody sees me. Nobody sees me, I can do it. But God, they're with me. So we don't do that. Okay, because we're respecting the fact that we understand and we consciously understand and aware that God is with me. Okay, you go to change your clothes. Okay, either you put a towel on you and then you take your undies and everything off, or you have a robe or whatever it is. Okay, or you do it under the bed cover. You try to do it in a way that you keep modesty and you're not just like flashing all over. Okay, again, even if you're alone, doesn't matter. Why? Again, because we're always aware that God is with us. If you go to the bathroom, you just got to throw all your clothing and sit over there naked in the bathroom. Even if you're just in the bathroom and the door is closed. Okay? Even that, you take only the clothes you have to take. You go to the shower, take a shower, it's a different story. But if you go to the bathroom, just take only the clothes you have to take in order to be able to go to the bathroom. Right? So it's interesting, but it's a concept that we are, by thinking like this, we training our mind to think that God is with me all the time. Which, by the way, helps me from making mistakes. Because if I'm always aware of God with me, then I'm less likely to do stupid things. Right? Okay. So we say we don't walk naked for no need. We only do what we need to do. We wear clothing. We started saying yesterday, last week, we wear clothing that are different than what the Goyim is wearing, what the non-Jews are wearing. Why? Because there's halacha in the Torah that says you cannot look like the non-Jew. You can't. So it doesn't mean that you have to wear bad clothing, but you don't always have to be in the same fashion as they are. Okay, you can wear more. First of all, if you wear modesty, you're already not getting dressed like them already, because you wear modest clothing. But if you don't, and you only worry about to blend in and to make everybody else and to fit in, then you are actually breaking a Torah prohibition. And it pumps your pride also. You have to understand. When you go and buy expensive clothing, and you use them not just so I can go out, people see that I look good, that I'm important, or whatever it is. It's actually in how I look all the time. It keeps me busy. Then it promotes me to be overly proud and make mistakes. Okay, it's like you're saying. I think I said it to you last week. The Rebbe says when they say why when they're coming off the yeshiva and only going from the yeshiva to the dorms or whatever it is, why they have to put the jacket and the hat. And the Rebbe said that the teenager with a jacket and the hat less likely to look at at the window shopping when there's things you cannot look at, or the women passing by, or whatever the case is. He's less likely to do it because he's wearing a uniform. Now again, doesn't mean everybody has to do that, okay? But it's just the concept of what I wear actually defines me. Okay, and if I'm defined by what I wear because I need to feel better about myself, and that's why I wear this clothing, then it's a problem. Okay, now it doesn't mean you have to look ugly and trashed, right? There's halacha against that also. You're not supposed to leave the house in a stained clothing, in clothes that are just, I'm just making myself, I'm putting myself down so I won't have pride. But then you look trashed and you're representing God. That's not good either. Okay. So you have to find balance between being modest, okay, and it can still be classic clothing. Can be expensive also. Nothing wrong with that. But if it's only about that, and the intention behind it, it's not what I just mentioned, then it's a problem. At the end, nobody knows what's in your heart. You do. You and Hashem. So at the end, when you're going to stand before God, you're not going to be able to say, hey, I was trying to represent you well, What if you didn't? Right? That's not going to work. So it says that the recommendation is to wear clothing that are, the mid-range. Don't go to the too expensive extreme stuff. Spend $5,000 on a suit, and don't buy something at Old Navy and go over it because it's the only thing you can find. Okay, so you have something in the middle that doesn't bring you to be overly proud. I can tell you for myself, I used to like buying clothing all the time when I was my previous lifetime, and it made me feel good about myself, and it made me proud. It pumped my pride to if I bought something expensive, I'm like in expensive clothing. I felt good about myself, like I wore something. Okay, but that wasn't worth any difference than before. But it was my awareness, right? So if it brings you to that, not good. Not dirty, don't be say in English a schlumper. Schlumper is like somebody who doesn't look. Don't be disheveled. I mean, be a person that actually look nice, representative, right, of God in the best way possible. But don't do it for the wrong reason. Okay. Okay. How do we wear our clothing? Even that we have rules. How do we wear clothing? What do we wear first? You wear your pants. What do you do? First, you put which one? Right or left? Right, there you go. Everything is right. Right shoe, right leg of the pants, right thing for your jacket. For anything you do is right. Yeah, right first. Right? But shoes is slightly different, right? When there is shoes that we have to tie, okay? We have laces for the shoes. So first, right? We're putting the right shoe. Then we're putting the left shoe. Then we're tying, which one?
The right shoe.
No, the left shoe. Yeah. First we tie the left shoe, then we tie the right shoe. Right? So you don't even, so some, before what I used to do is put my right shoe, tie this, the lace, go to the left shoe, put it on, tie the lace, right? So now put the right, put the left, tie the left, tie the right. Okay? Yes? Okay. Why? And why we do that? Because when we tie something in Torah, where is this resembling something we tie? Is we put tefillin on. When you put tefillin, you put it on your left hand. Okay? So because of that, when we tying something, we're starting with the left first. Understand?
This is all supposed you're right-handed.
You what? Yes, correct. If you're lefty, it's the other way around. Lefty is more.
Everything, if you're left-handed?
Yeah, most of it. There's few variations, but yes, most of it is the other. Yeah, if you're lefty, you put your tefillin in your right hand, not your left hand.
When you wash hands, would you start
Yeah.
with your left hand instead of your right?
Yeah, everything changes. Yeah. Why you
If I
lefty?
needed to tie something like
Are you lefty?
this, I would start.
Good. There is actually a whole book about
So if I needed to tie something like this, I would start from the left.
Why you lefty?
Tying always starts from the left.
Tying. Yes. Yeah, correct. Also in the clothing, if you tie something tied, let's say you have laces here and here. I don't know. Women have it usually with the core pieces.
And that's consistent, that'll always be, tying is always left to right?
All right. There was a miracle, by the way, about it that happened 20 years ago. There was a disaster in Israel that was two helicopters of soldiers from Khanim. They went to exercise, and then they went up. So one went out before the other one was able to clear, and they ran into each other, and they both crushed, and they're like 60, 70 soldiers died. It was horrible. I saw the disaster of the choppers. Asona Mesukim. Anyway, there was one guy that was saved. Why? He used to, his father taught him how to tie the shoes, like we just talked about. And when he did that, he did it wrong from the stress. So he said, I cannot do that. I'm going for an operation right now, so I'm not doing it. Go back. And he changed he took him off and worked properly. While he did that, he missed his turn. He wanted to go to the next chopper. And that's when it happened. True story. Yep. Divine providence, right? Okay. Then, of course, for the men, we have also for the women, but for the men, for sure, you cannot walk without a head covering. Woman, if she's married, of course, she has to cover her hair. It's a different reason. But for a man, he cannot be without head covering, not even sit down, nothing. Always the head has to be covered. Why? Not only for modesty, which always you remember this, there is always someone above you, and then there is bringing, the Torah says it's bringing all of Hashem for you. Like we said earlier, to put the hat, to put the jacket, it puts the awe of Hashem on you, so it's easier for you to do the mitzvot. It becomes easier because you put the kippah on, you have a cover, you have a head covering. You wouldn't put it normally. Normally you would fix your hair, right? And make sure it's not gonna, the hair is not gonna move, right? God forbid. So the kippah is it's almost, or the head covering is almost just negating this whole thing. Okay, there is even when you're sleeping, by the way, right? Try to sleep with the head covering also, and try and make sure it's not going to fall. So that's why we don't put a kippah. It's like a little, like a pkak, a pkak coaster. Yeah. We call pkak in Hebrew. Pkak is like a lid, like a lid of a bottle. And even for the little one, it's very important to cover their head, even when they're 3 years old and higher. Start from the very beginning. Even if they have to keep reminding him, because it creates the notion, understanding, and awareness that there's something above me, right? Now, when you don't have a head cover and you lost your kippah, so you can put your hand, until you find it and put it back on. But it's not good enough to say a blessing. You can't put your hand to say a blessing. I can ask you to put your hand on my head and I can say a blessing, but I can't put mine. Why? Because this is part of me. You can't cover yourself with yourself. Right? Object cannot cover on its own self. So you have to have something else. So your nothing over the hand, but your hand can put on mine, and I can say a blessing. Yeah. But if I don't have, but I can do this. I can take the jacket and can do this, because then the jacket is instead of the kippah. Okay, I can do that, but I cannot do this for blessing. For walking without a head covering, yes, I can do that. Because we say you cannot walk 4 foot without. 4, 8, 4. 4 feet without head covering. Right. So, okay, that's for halacha. For the women, though, women that are married, like we said, there is a head covering, right? Obviously, the rules for clothing are different for men and women, but not that much, by the way. I mean, the men also have to wear clothing that's covering from their elbow down, from the knee down. It's still required. It's not only for women. Women, we can do a shiur by itself, but on women clothing, and it's new in the whole halacha. There's several things that attach to it, but the head covering does not apply until you are married, and head covering is for a different reason. It's not for the reason of remembering God, the guys above you. To remember that there is that help you in fearing God, because women, by the way, have it naturally. They don't need like the men a reminder every time. That's why men have to daven 3 times a day. Women don't. If not, she daven 1 time a day. She doesn't need a reminder. She's connected. A woman is connected a lot more than a man to godliness by nature. Okay, they're much more connected. You just have to. That's why they do a lot less, and they can still be more connected, and they can still see godliness and push their men to do more, because the man is usually get distracted and is not connected. Okay.
Don't we cover our hair though to prevent like evil speech from getting in our mind? Or is that just...
Evil speech from getting into our mind for women.
They do
I didn't hear about it. I don't say it's not. I just didn't hear about it. It could be. I'll check it for you. Maybe there's opinion for that, but I'm not disqualifying it. I just don't know. I'll check it. But evil speech will get into your ears before it's going to get to your mind. That's going to get to your mind through the hearing. So the not listening to what you're not supposed to be listening. It's a mitzvah by itself. We'll talk about it also, but. It basically has to do with, you have to prevent from before it's happening. Yeah, so when it starts happening, you just have to either ask them to stop or just walk away. You don't want to be there when people are not talking positive things. Period. End of story. Not about yourself, not about anybody else. I mean, it's like just, you don't want to be there. It's not a good environment. People start complaining, kvetching. Go. Either stop or I'm out of here. Don't let that even start it. Because when you start complaining about things, then it starts going downhill from there.
Maybe when we're modest, we give other people less opportunities to shine that evil eye on us.
Yeah. So, but like I said, for the women, it's different. It's completely different. There's a lot of to talk about the women stuff. We'll do a show about it.
Okay. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to show my knees and such.
No,
I got my
especially when you're
shorts in the
davening.
gym.
Especially when you're davening. Especially when you're davening, you can't daven with a flip flop. You can daven with you have to have at least socks on you or something. If you wear flip flop, you can put socks, because it's not respectful. Think about it. You're going to meet the king of the universe. You're coming like you came out of the bathroom.
Barack Obama's coming over.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna get dressed. If it's him, maybe, but not. Not if your favorite. Maybe it's Trump. They won't do that.
Like we were talking about the shofar. It's the intention.
It's the intention, yes. Okay, so we talked about the brachot already, and where we're in the davening. Let's cover a few parts of the davening that apply for men and women. We're talking about Birkot HaShachar, right? The morning davening. We talked about the neshama, the soul. I think we finished with that, right? The soul that God puts in me. Remind me, yeah? We're there? Okay.
We did upon arising, and then wash again.
Yeah, and we talked about Asher Yatzar, right? We talked about the Baruch. Yeah, we talked about that. That we say that Hashem is the healer of all flesh and creates wonder, right? We did that. And then there we start talking about the neshama, the soul that you put in me, that it's pure, right? We talked about it, that the neshama is descending. No, you passed it. Go back. On the right. No, okay, I'm talking Hebrew. Yeah. It starts with neshama. Neshama, the soul you put inside of me is pure, right? You created it, right? You want to read it, David? Read in English. Okay? No, Elokai. The bottom paragraph, yes. Elokai, yeah.
My God, the soul which you have given within me is pure. You have created it, you have formed it, you have breathed it into me, and you preserve it within me. You will eventually take it from me and restore it within me in the time to come. So long as the soul is within me, I offer thanks to you. Lord my God and God of my fathers, master of all works, Lord of all souls, blessed are you, Lord who restores souls to dead bodies.
Exactly. Okay, so what are we saying here? We're saying, we talked about a little bit in the end of Shiur, we talked about the fact that the neshama, every night, what does it do? It goes up, right? It downloads everything we've done. And then we say the morning blessing. So the concept of saying a blessing is every time we do something new during the day, okay? We say a blessing. Why? Because we just said that every day is a new day. It's a new beginning. It's a new creation. So even though I blessed those blessings yesterday, okay, I'm saying it today again. Why? Because the action happened again. The neshama went up, it came down, right? So I'm saying Modeani, I'm thankful to Hashem for giving it back to me, right? Now I'm saying that Hashem is giving me a pure neshama, okay? So we talked about all the time that the Jew has two neshama. He has the godly soul and he has the animalistic soul, right? The godly soul is the part that's not contaminated. It's clean and pure. And God gave it to me, and it came from the upper worlds. We said there's four main worlds we talked about, right? Four main worlds. There's many more, but four main. There's Atzilut, right? Emanation. There is creation. Bria is creation. There's Yetzira is formation, and Asiya is action. We are in the world of action. Okay, just to understand the general division between them, Atzilut is the highest one. It's 100% godliness. There's nothing else over there. No sense of self. Zero. Even though there is vessels over there, there's lights and vessels. The lights and the vessels is all him. And they feel it's all him. There's no separation. Like we're separating. There's me, there's you, there's a separation. Right? No separation. Okay? And Bria, world of creation, is where the creation started. So there is over there a sense of self, but still they're completely nullified to godliness. If we put in percentage, not that they're right, but it's like 95% godliness, 5% sense of self. Okay, it says that we're reading it every morning. The Srafim is called the burnt angels. They're so they have so much understanding of what Hashem is that they can't even stay alive. They burn from the fire, inside of them, and then they come back to life again. Okay, this is how intense is the feeling that they feel, right? In that level, it's the world of creation. Okay, then we go into a world of formation, right? Yetzirah, right? In formation, what happened? Formation is actually when there is the angel, it's about 50-50. There's angel, everyone has his own job, they all has their hierarchy, etc. They feel existence, but they're completely nullified to Hashem. So it's about 50-50. Okay? There's no physical body. It's only defined spirituality. Okay? We come to the world of action, that's our world, and it's the opposite, 95 or 99% me, and maybe 1% godliness. Okay? So there is only sense of self. There is no sense of spirituality. Very, very rare people have it naturally. They can feel the spirituality. Most of us are very dull to everything that's happening around us. We desensitize. We can't sense the spirituality. In order to sense it, we have to work on ourselves more and more and more and more to get there.
In which level was the war over if we're allowed to teach Torah secrets that was formed in this
Back in that's
putting the guy in jail.
so in the world of so basically it's called Gan Eden. There's Gan Eden of above, right? It's Gan Eden, and that's happening in the world of the angel, in formation. World of formation. It's Sira, again.
The one right above us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that
The
mean
world
the
of angels.
higher levels affect that level the same as that level affects us?
Yeah. It's called order of descent.
More concentrated
Yeah.
to more diminished.
Correct. Yes. And it's not that it's changing, it's only the filter is stronger. Okay? God doesn't change. Say, I do not change. I do not change. What's changing is our ability to receive the light is changing based on where I'm in the hierarchy of this order of descent.
A filter is a good reward.
Yeah, it's a filter. So for example, let's say that, so a good example would be this. In the room, we're in here, and there's windows, right? The sun shines outside, it's the middle of the day, okay? And the light that penetrates through the window is the light of the sun. If I took a white shear and I put it on, there's a little bit less light's going to come in, right? I took 3, 4, 5, I put 10 shears, right? Then it's going to make it thicker and thicker. Less light's going to come in, right?
The same light.
Huh?
It's
Still the same light. The light doesn't change. But here, for me, in that room, is dark. So that's, yeah. So we can choose to see the dark, or we can choose to see the light. If we know there is light past that window, okay, even though there's a black curtain that's covering it, it doesn't mean I'm in the dark. I can choose to know that to think about the fact that there's light outside. Right now, I'm in a dark room. I'll make myself I find a way out of it, and I'll be back in the light again. Okay? So basically, the dark or the light is based on the recipient, not on the luminary. The luminary illuminates light no matter what. Doesn't change. Right? Okay. So God, when He gives us back the neshama, it goes through that. It's called order of descent. The order that God created the world. It goes from the higher world all the way down back to my body. That's why we say this bracha, this blessing. And then we say over there that it is give back souls to dead bodies, because it says that when we are sleeping, we're 1/60th of a dead person. In comparison, it's 1/60th. 1/60th of a dead person. So it's not, you're not dead because you're still breathing, but your mind is not there, your awareness is not there. I mean, nothing. I mean, if somebody's going to tell you you won't feel. So you 1/60th of a dead body. Okay, so when you bring in the Shama, it brings it. And another thing, that there is a promise that God is going to resurrect, like He promised to through Ezekiel, the prophet, right? The prophet of the dried bones, right? That at the end, everyone is going to come back to life. Every Jew is going to come back to life. Doesn't matter, you're going to be resurrected. Every Jew. Okay? The Christian believe only one is going to be resurrected. And in Judaism, it's everybody. Okay? Not just one. Everyone's resurrected. And everyone's starting their life again with awareness of godliness that's beyond anything that you can even if you take all the Torah except today, and it exists today, and you study it, let's say let's say differently. All this Torah that exists today, you would know it as a base, as an entry level, at the time of resurrection of the dead.
When they come back, they'll be at that second level of love.
And that is going. And you will sense, you will feel godliness. You'll be able to see, right? In the we can do a whole shiur about it. What's happening in the class and what's happening in the redemption. But you'll be able to see what godliness makes this chair. You'll be able to see the words, the kiseh, the words kiseh, and the godly energy inside of it. You'll be able to feel it, to listen to it, just like you see things right now. You'll ever see godliness. It won't look to you like an inanimate object anymore. So you see a person, you'll see the entire godliness radiates from that person. It's not going to be a shallow connection anymore of only the outer appearance. It's going to be all internal, all the inside, the truth of everything, not the lie of everything. You see, now I can lie to you. I can think something else and say something else, right? And at the time of the resurrection of the dead and the ultimate redemption, I can't lie to you. You know what I think. We're all going to be connected, now I'm telling you you're connected, you don't believe me, right? It's hard to believe it. But in that time, we're all going to feel connected. Nobody's tell you you're connected. You will feel connected. Yeah? Okay. So let's do one more bracha so we can advance. Okay, now, those brachot, again, we're reading them every day. And those, technically, we should have blessed those things every moment we're doing it. Okay? Read the first bracha. הנותן, להשכבי, בינה, להבחין, בין יום ובין לילה. Read in English.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who gives the rooster understanding to distinguish between the day and the night.
Exactly. So when do we say this bracha? It's very simple. When you hear the rooster, make his noise in the morning, or at dawn, or whatever, if he's not scared at midnight, then you actually say a bracha to Hashem for giving him the ability to make a distinction between night and day. Right? Because he's understanding when he's night, when he's day. That's why he's actually making the noise. But also, there's another explanation for that. Sachvi is also mean the heart. Okay? There's another explanation of the word. So, the heart also has the ability to distinguish between night and day, between the truth and the lie. And Hashem gave us the option to be able to do that. Hashem gave us this freedom of choice to decide what is right and what is wrong. And that's what we're blessing Hashem for giving me that option. Because I could be like an animal, or can't see the difference, can't tell the difference. Or I can behave like an animal, still be a human being and behave like an animal, and still cannot tell the difference. Right? That's why I was before. Before I started doing tshuva, I was a person that lived in a body with ability to assert what's right and what's wrong, but I was living in my own imagination that everything I think is good, and what I think is wrong, and it's actually not truth. It's complete lie. Okay? Okay, what's the next bracha? פוקח עיוורים. עיוורים, yes, and?
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who opens the eyes of the blind.
יפה. Why we say open the eyes of the blinds? Because first of all, what do? We woke up from sleeping. We were sleeping, we were blind. Okay, so really opening the eyes of the blind. Right? So again, you could say this thing over and over and over again. Every second I can see, I say blessing to Hashem. But because our sages didn't want you to say blessing all day long, 20 times a minute, right? So you say it once, all those blessings once in the morning, and then it's example for the rest of the day, and you're going to do it again the next morning. Okay? Yafeh. Know what it says over there in English?
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who releases the bound.
Yafeh. So why? We were bound. When you're sleeping, what were you? You couldn't move. Right? Your life was taken away from you. It's like you were bound. So Hashem, by giving you neshama, it makes you go back to life. So now you're not bound anymore. Okay? Zokef. Kefufim. Yeah? You are, what are you doing?
So you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who strengthens the bow.
People who are bad, right? Okay, so what do? Also, when you get out of bed, you get out in the morning, okay, you're able to stand up. Right? You were in bed, you weren't laying down. Right? You got up, you stand up. Baruch Hashem, thank God. My back is okay. I can stand up, I can move. Right? Yeah? What was the next one? What is it?
Blessed are you, Lord God, King of the universe, who clothes the naked.
Clothes are naked, exactly. You wake up in the morning, you need to put clothes on you, right? Take off your jammies, you put clothes. Right? So, you say thank you to Hashem for what? For giving me clothes. Right? So, again, it's like if you look at it, it's like organized by the step you're taking from the minute you wake up. Right? You think for this, for the next action, every action, right? Okay, I know we're going over, but okay, read now. הנותן לייב כוח. What it says, you give the...
Who gives strength to the weary.
Exactly. So you wake up in the morning and you are tired. Who gives you strength? God. Okay, so you're thinking. And remember, what do we say about the blessing? Remember the blessing? What do we say? The word we say, Baruch Atah Hashem, bless. What do we say Baruch? Bless in English. What do we say in Hebrew? Baruch is bringing down. Remember? Huh? To bend. The knee, like the knee. Berech is knee. Right? What do you do with the knee? Knee, you want to bend over, you use your knees. Right? You want to squat, use your knee. Okay, how are you going to bring yourself from high to low? Use your knee. Right? You want to sit down, use your knees. So, berech is to bring something from up, down. So, bracha, blessing in English, my name was bracha, is lehavrich, is to bring down. So, we're saying Baruch Atah, bringing you. And saying Baruch, bring down who? You. You are who you are. Yeah? Hashem Elokeinu, right? Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu. You are the power that propels the world that becomes our God. Instead of the world become my God, I want Hashem to become my God. I can have many gods, or I can have one God. There's a story about the Frierdiker Rebbe, the previous Rebbe, when he was in jail in Russia, and they wanted to give him death penalty for spreading Judaism. And they threatened him with a gun. I said, if you're going to start speaking, we're going to kill you. So he started laughing. He said, that toy can scare someone that has one world and many gods. This toy cannot scare someone that has one God and two worlds. If you take me out of here, I'm going to the next world. It's much better for me. And I have one God, so I'm confused. Not scared of it. If you take me out of this world, thank you so much. You helped me. I appreciate it. I'm done with my job. Understand? So basically, when we bring in one God to be our one Hashem, God, it's a Yud Ke Vav Ke. We say it's the power that propels God. The power that propels the world. That actually become our God. That's becoming our God, right? And that's we're going. No, it's fine. It's fine. We're there. Come give a hug, man. Come. We're there with you. Excuse me. How are you?
Good.
How are you gonna be?
I'm going to be here till the end of January. I'll come.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going to be busy with
No.
my mom, but thank you.
Baruch Hashem. Very, very good seeing you. Very good seeing you. Thank you. I'm so happy to see you. You should come.
I will. Thank you.
I'll talk to you. I'll call you. Yeah, of course. I'll send you information. Yes. Thank you. Shalom. Sorry, guys. So, very good friends. We used to stay together every week, and now he's in Canada. So now he's came to visit. He went to take care of his mom. So we're saying we bringing down. What do we bring down? Bringing God the way He is in His most raw formation. Bring Him down here, and I want Him to become my God instead of the world become my God. And I'm saying that He is the one who's doing X, like in His word. He is the one who's giving me clothing. He is the one who straighten the, what do you call in English? The bent. Bowed, yes. So that's what I'm doing with this brachot, right? When you say brachot, okay, we're going to say brachot on the Chanukah soon, right? You say Baruch Atah Hashem, same, bless, bring down you, God, okay, to become my God, right? Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kidishanu, that actually He is to say that He is happy. Asher is happiness, right? It is happy. And He commanded us in His commandments, so He's happy that we're doing the mitzvah. They're doing the deed that He commanded us to do, right? The same mitzvah He does, and He commanded us to do X. That's when we say bracha every time before we do something. Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu mechbez you, about bringing you down, God, becoming my God, the God of the universe, right? that is happy with the commandment that I'm doing right now, because I will make Hashem happy. When I'm doing it, I make God. So you have to understand, when you do a mitzvah, you make God happy, right? Asher Kiddishanu, and not only that, you sanctify me. We say, I forgot this word. You sanctify me. Okay, so Asher Kiddishanu, that you're happy and you sanctify us from what? Because Kadosh is sanctified. You removed us from the world. We're not the same as everybody else. We talked about clothing. We talked about blessing, about the way we behave. We are removed from this world. We're not here to be blend in the world and become like them. There is enough of those. Hashem doesn't need those from us. They have their job. They're doing it. They have a different set of rules for the non-Jews. For us, we have to separate ourselves, but still be, like we said, we have to be different, but still be in the world and bring godliness to the world, right? So Asher Kedishanu, you sanctify us. How do you sanctify us? With the deeds, with the mitzvot. Because if you don't do mitzvot, you're not sanctified. You're like everybody else. What's sanctifying about you if you don't do them? Right? You're separating yourself by doing the mitzvot. And that's the whole idea of the bracha that we say. So now when you say a bracha, when you say a blessing on something, you understand what you're saying. Okay? And there's, of course, other commentaries we could talk about for hours, but that's the gist of why we're saying the blessing. And that's why it's important not to say the blessing for no reason. Because you bring God for what? If you didn't, that's not to carry God's name in vain, right? That's why you have to learn the rules of when to say the brachot. Okay? That's all going to be different by a shiur by itself. I had to do a few shiurim to learn how to say brachot properly. But the whole idea is not to say God's names in vain. Because it's one of the 10 commandments right there, second commandment. Third one.
Don't just use it all willy-nilly.
Huh?
Don't just use it all willy-nilly.
No. You have to not just say God's names like no reason, okay? Third commandment, no second. Anyway, remember where we stopped? No, which one? Rokaretz alamayim. Okay, we'll stop there. I'll explain this one next year. Because there's more explanation to that. Okay, Rokaretz alamayim. So how do you say in English? David, how do you say in English, the last part of this? They put the earth
forth the earth above the
water.
water.
Yeah.
The earth
Okay.
above the water.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole concept to explain. It's a big.
No.
It's a big concept to explain. Huh?
No.
Noah. Yeah. No, but it's more than Noah. It's Hashem created the world, and it says that in the beginning there was ruach Elokim ba'achev al pnei tehom. It seems like there is water, and there is water first, and then the water. Then Hashem created the heavens, and He created from the water. He separated them, right? And then He created the earth. And then He created
These are
the
the utterances.
Yeah, the utterances. Yeah. So we'll talk about it in, next week.
Everything is created from these letters.
Yes, everything from 22 letters. Okay, so thank you everyone. If you have any questions you want to ask, by the way, you can text me. You have my number on the thing. So if you have questions and you want to know how to listen to things, the things we talked about, just text me and I'll answer in between things that I'm doing. It'll be a great evening for everyone. Good night.